Demario was not at practice today. Excuse absence, no issues there. All good, just so everyone's on the same page. Really hot day, humid day, which was really good for us. Obviously, we reached the threshold right at the end from a wet bowl perspective, and so we had to send the developmental group inside for the finishing part of practice. But it was great practice.
Have you had a practice that hot before? Like, do you remember one at different levels? Was this crazy hot, or was it normal?
It was really hot. Obviously, that's what it is. Every once in a while during training camp, every place you've been, you're going to catch a few hot days, and this was one of them. And so for our guys, it was good.
Kellen, what are you kind of hoping to see out of this competition behind Alvin, running back? Like, you got a lot of guys with some good experience.
Yeah, we got a nice blend. Some guys who've been in this league for a number of years, who've contributed at high levels that we're excited to see, and some younger guys. And so for those guys, it's going to be just a matter of taking advantage of those opportunities. Running backs, having games has a big component of it, just because of the component of tackling and breaking tackles and all that. But he's done a good job.
Now, how much do you look forward to putting the pads on tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a big part. Ultimately, that's what we're building towards. This whole entire offseason program has been built to the point where you're actually in pads, and that's ultimately how you play this game. And so it'll be good. It'll take a few days for our guys to get used to it, because it's been a long time for a lot of these guys. It's January or February that they were last wearing pads, and so there'll be an acclimation period a little bit, just getting used to that, getting the pad level low, kind of the physicality and the finish.
What have you thought about Chase so far throughout training camp? I mean, we know obviously him with this new scheme and whatnot, but are you kind of starting to see it pay dividends a little bit with what he could be in this game?
Yeah, you're seeing it. He's an excellent player. Obviously, we know that part of it. I think his ability to play on the edge is going to be a huge advantage. His ability to play a number of different ways. I think he can set the edge really, really well. He's got explosiveness in obviously the pass rush game, and so he'll be a big part of this defense.
Well, your evaluation of the quarterbacks today, and then just in general, are they about where you hoped they would be 4 days in?
Yeah, I think there's going to be highs and lows for all of them. There's going to be some good moments. There's going to be some rough moments that we get to learn from, and that's part of what training camp is about. And so I think anytime you come off an off day, there's a little bit of get back into it. I think it's good for our guys to get used to that. You have 3 really good days, you have an off day, and now you kind of got to hop back into it and start fast. And so all of our guys can get used to that rhythm and routine, because that's how the season's going to go.
You've mentioned the off days, or the building from setbacks, the interceptions, bad passes. Is that sort of always been your philosophy to use the worst rep to build on?
Well, certainly I think those are the ones you're going to grow most from, and I think for our guys, handling those are probably just more important than handling all the highs. And so there's a time where you're going to reach a point where you're just going to have a ton of highs. You're going to have to handle that as well. But those guys got to learn from some things, and they got to have first level experiences, go through some things, and navigate it.
Was taking the Fowler over to the other field with I think it was the threes today. Mm-hmm. Is that just because you're trying to get as many reps as you can with these guys?
Yeah, we did a 2-spot drill, and we'll do those on occasion throughout camp. It's just a way of maximize as many reps as we can while not being out here for 3 hours. And so it's a chance for us to get 8 reps, and by doing on 2 fields we get 16 reps.
Kellen, it seems like Danny Stutzman's been making plays and then getting some snaps with the ones. Is that predetermined as you go into camp who's going to get in with the ones, or do you earn that? Has he earned chances to play with the ones?
Well, certainly, like every position, especially early in training camp, we're going to rotate these guys as much as we can. But I will say Danny's done an excellent job. Big time interception today. Matched up on a receiver in the middle of the field, and kind of has great awareness and feel, and he matches the routes really, really well and made a big time play. And so he's just been making a bunch of consistent plays like that, and they've been showing up a ton.
Who are some of the guys that have worn the communication device besides Demario?
All those linebackers just kind of rotate. They'll all have different opportunities there. We'll see.
The play from Julian Blackman in here, and what you've seen from him so far.
For a guy who showed up just a couple days ago and just hops in and plays defense and is communicating at such a high level, it shows the experience and the high football IQ that he has. He's a big-time player. Again, when the transition happened, Tyron ended up deciding to retire. We'd been kind of in communication with Julian for really most of the offseason as we kind of went through this, and so when the opportunity presented itself, it felt like a win-win for both sides.
Is that unusual that a guy like him would still be on the market in the middle of the summer?
we obviously feel fortunate. He's a big-time player. He's contributing in a lot of different ways. Everyone's going through different situations. Sometimes you're waiting for the right opportunity from a player perspective, just making sure you put yourself in the best position moving in for the season. And so I think this thing's going to work out great for all sides.
It sounded like Staley said something like, I've waited 5 years for that. Is he a player that you wanted like a long time ago? Like, did he bring that up to you?
Brandon certainly, yes. We got 3 Utah guys. They played big time football at Utah, especially on defense for a really long time, and so we're fired up to get them.
Kellen, do you have any certain plan with going live? I mean, you do live tackling with the physicality now ramping up.
We'll see potentially as this thing progresses towards the tail end when we get into some scrimmage settings right before the Chargers. We may get into some live stuff, but not tomorrow.
How about the rotation of the quarterbacks? Is Tyler going to be the first with the bat tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll just keep talking through it, and we'll continue to rotate these guys as much as we can.
And Spencer today, I mean, he had a nice dump off pass to Alvin for a touchdown off the blitz. I mean, is that kind of indicative of him kind of growing, in this offense, like being able to recognize things and stuff along those lines?
Yeah, I think Spencer is a really decisive, gets the ball out of his hands really quickly. He's very, very confident in that form, and so he does a really, really good job. And I think that's one thing that you certainly recognize with him. When he sees a blitz, he gets the ball out of his hands, he finds the completion. He's done a nice job from that standpoint.
The 2 words that players have used throughout camp to describe your process are calculated and confident. Do you feel like the preparedness breeds the confidence, and do you think that trickles down and the players don't have to think about it as much?
It's a great question. I think certainly a lot of this thing is building up for Sundays in the fall, and so we're doing everything we can from a physical standpoint and then from a mental standpoint. And so, our team meetings, trying to prepare ourselves for how do we win football games, how do we, understand situational football, what wins and loses games in this league. We're trying to hammer that stuff as much as we can because that can be a big advantage for us.
Kellen, I know Julian Blackman played kind of rotated almost by years, strong safety, free safety.
Yeah.
Did you have a vision for a position he fits best? I know his versatility is key, but is there a role you had specifically?
Certainly our safeties will be able to play, both sides of it. Justin naturally plays down a little bit more, and so Julian will play back a little bit more, if percentages told you. But, those guys will be able to play both sides, and that's the versatility that both those guys have played throughout their career. So, obviously a huge advantage. And, Julian even played a little corner back in the Utah days. Not that we're going to ask him to do that, but he does have that flexibility and that coverage ability to perform, in those situations.
Not to make too big of a deal of the interceptions, but I guess for both, what's kind of the vantage point for the QB? Was like a miscommunication or anything?
Yeah. I think I'm an offense guy, but we got to say 2 really good plays on the defensive side. I thought both guys just made really, really good plays from a defense perspective. And quarterbacks, again, just ball placement and, giving ourselves an opportunity. So we'll evaluate on film and see if there's any other coaching points.
Do you guys have any benchmarks or goals that you want to meet before you guys head to California?
We're just going to continue to grow, continue to develop. We'll have a scrimmage here towards the tail end of this week, and then transition into the next phase of this thing, which gets us geared up towards preseason. And so there'll be a continued building process here.
Will the injured guys come to California with you, like Jason and
Yeah,
Foster?
yeah.
What kind of growth have you seen from the offensive line so far?
They've done a really good job. They've done everything we've asked of them. They're working really well together. There's a lot of communication, verbal and nonverbal, that those guys have to spend time and invest on. And the pads is the next component. Ultimately, that's the big piece that still needs to be added to the equation. And the offensive defensive line, that'll be a fun battle for those guys for the next few days. All good? All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.